Hello, hi. Oh my gosh, hi. We're back in the car. We're having a discussion. We're going to channel about something very specific that I feel like is very important, and it's called feelings. Why do we suppress them? Why do we repress them? What is the difference between those two, and how can we healthily express them? Okay, so the difference between suppressing your feelings and repressing them is when you suppress your emotions, you are actively putting a stop to it. You're like, I do not want to feel this way. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm not going to feel this. It's the equivalent of like when you like somebody and you're like, no. You're looking in the mirror and you're like, no. No. When you repress it, it's you're subduing it. So you're just kind of like swallowing it down until maybe one day you blow up. Exactly. So that's the difference. And the reason that we do either of those things is because it feels good. That's literally the only reason why we do it. Because it feels good, that's why we do it. I firmly believe humans don't do anything unless they want to do it, and it's what feels good in that moment. That being said, a lot of the things that are worth it don't actually feel that good when you're pursuing it. Sometimes it just feels good at the end. But we can't always, we're not really trained for that. Like, some of us love instant gratification. A lot of us do. So what are we going to do? What about feelings? And why the hexies does it feel so good to repress or suppress emotions? Honestly, your bet is as good as mine. Like, your answer could be as good as mine. The thing is, feelings don't always feel good. Okay? They're not always going to be sunshine and daisies and unicorn farts. Okay? Sometimes we are not taught how to fully embody any emotion that feels inherently negative, and therefore we avoid it. Or which is basically suppressing, or we put it away in the back of the closet until one day we're like, we really need to donate that. We really need to do something about it, which is what I did with my clothes that I've been procrastinating. So essentially, why we procrastinate our emotions versus why we avoid them entirely is subjective to each person, but it's not healthy. We know that it's not healthy. If we feel some type of way, we know deep down as a human being, we must find a way to express it. It could be too little, too late. It could be potentially the wrong avenue of expression, or it could just, you can never do it. And then a year later, you're like, why do I still feel this way? There is a difference between moving on and moving forward. When you move on, you are almost like saying this is it, it's over, I have to start a new life. When you are moving forward, you accept the emotions that you have and you keep them, you cultivate them, you keep them inside. You say, thank you for feeling that. I know that's a part of the human experience, but we are going to take action towards a life that doesn't feel stagnant or stuck, because that's what happens when you don't allow yourself to feel things. You get stuck. And then that's when you have relationship residue, when you spend all this time avoiding feelings or repressing them, and then you're ready to get back out there again, but then you still keep thinking about somebody else that you left in the past, or at least you thought you left in the past, and it's like you didn't, because you didn't give yourself really significant access to those feelings. You may have thought you did, you may have journaled about it, you may have talked about it, but there's a difference between talking about it and feeling about it. That's why actions do speak louder than words, because I've been in positions where I've said things, but I haven't allowed myself to feel them. They could be absolutely true, but that you still need to get from here to here. Here to here, baby. And that's the disconnect. When you don't express your emotions healthily, you have a disconnect between your mind, body, and soul. And in order to have an authentic life, you need the connection. So what are some healthy ways to express your emotions? Well, it depends on you. And I think the best question to move forward on this is, what did you wish you had as a child to express your emotional self, your emotional body, but you didn't have? Because that will give you a clue into what you would actually be the most beneficial. So for me, I wish I had an outlet to discuss emotions authentically without criticism or judgment. And so in that case, maybe having a support group, or having friends that really are very available to discuss emotions, or having a partner that like is really down to clown about emotional intelligence. That would probably be something to start for me. And I've done a lot of talk therapy, so I'm out of that kind of web. So I'm stretching my legs in different directions. I want to try new things regarding that. And so for me, it's about emotional communication. That's what I really wish I had. So that's kind of like the avenue in which I need to learn, and spend a lot of my time learning about how to be an amazing emotional communicator. And that's how I can express my emotions authentically for me. But if your upbringing wasn't like that, and maybe you wish that you could have had a physical outlet for your emotions, like we were talking a lot about emotions, but we didn't have any, like, we weren't doing anything with the emotions, then maybe if let's say you have anger that you repress or suppress, maybe finding a creative or physical outlet, something tangible you can do with your hands, like, or with your body, to exert all of that energy into. So for instance, martial arts, beating the shit out of something, paintballing, I don't know, taking some of that aggression and directing it into something. Even woodworking, anything that you could just, like, when you get angry, you could blow off some steam in that direction. So it really just depends. I would ask yourself that. Those are two examples. I would really journal about it. I really would. And the reason that emotional expression needs to come from a healthy place and not a toxic place, because, and how can you tell the difference, is because when you are coming at emotions from a toxic place, nothing gets done. Literally, you will have to resume this on a later date, and then you're not learning anything. So do you really want to be where you are again 6 months later because you didn't learn that lesson the first time? No, you don't. So going forward, it really is about sitting with your shit, smelling your shit, being like, my shit stinks just as much as everybody else. And it's not even about comparing, but if you're going to compare, to say everybody's going through something, everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody. So I hope this video has been helpful, and it has woken you up to an aspect. If maybe you suppress, maybe you repress, maybe you are actually emotionally healthy, and this was the confirmation for you. But I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and I love you very, very much.